Hello everyone, and welcome to a special Hero's Journey vlog. This one is about a different game. It's about Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is a collectible trading card game. You play the part of a super wizard called a planeswalker fighting another planeswalker, and you cast some spells and you summon some creatures and eventually one of you dies. It's a blast, and Anna and I have been playing a ton of it lately. We had played it as kids, but we started playing it again recently because we knew the set coming out was going to be a Greek mythology based set. It's not exactly Greek mythology. They take a lot of liberties with it because they're making it on a different planet. So the idea is just that it's very Greek mythology-esque. I thought it'd be a fun thing to kind of pick apart the different characters and gods and stuff in their world and see what the cognates are in real mythology. And so far, we've been looking at some general prophets, some pictures that I thought were really cool and start to evoke the Greek theme. And then we're going to go into the gods of this world. And this first one you're looking at is Perforos. He is the Hephaestus analog. He's a little bit of an Ares thing going on sometimes because there's a little more violence than Hephaestus probably has, but he's all volcanoes and fire and smashing the shit out of things with a giant hammer. Next up is Erebos. He's very similar to Erebus, mixed with Hades a little bit. He runs the underworld. He's also very darkness oriented. I'm not sure why he has horns. This is Heliod. You'll notice that it sounds a lot like Helios, and just like Helios, he is very sun-oriented, but he's also kind of a Zeus-esque figure in that he is the leader of this pantheon. Next we have Nylea. She's the classic Artemis. Look at her. She's out there hunting. She's got animals around. She's in the woods. She's got a bow. Artemis. Now this fish lady here is Thassa. Now her name comes from Thalassa, who is one of the primordial sea goddesses. She's the daughter of Aether, the air, and Hemera, the sun, the daytime. Next we have Aphara, that is a little bit like Athena. She runs a city, or is the goddess of a city much like Athens, and she bestows wisdom, and she inspires, and she brings about culture. Her sister, Charametra, is a mix between Gaia and Demeter. She sows the field, she gives crops, but she also creates these massive beasts. She has, much like Gaia, just a swelling of all kinds of creatures. And then we have Mogus. Now Mogus is a half of Ares. He's the evil, horrible half of war, the chaotic half of war. And in that is maybe a little bit like Phomos and Deimos, Ares' children. Phoenix is the god of mystery and deceit and magic. He's very obviously Hermes, but they added a darkness spin to him. The last god is Xenagos. He's much like a Pan figure, pretty much exactly. He's the main character of the story-ish, so there's a lot of pictures of him, and he's a pretty cool dude. Eventually he bursts through a mountain. Next we'll move to some cards inspired by the characters and events of mythology. This first one is an excellent depiction of the Oracle of Delphi with her incense and censers and everything. Next we have a Hoplite, which most people incorrectly pronounce hoplite, the foot soldier of many a Greek army. We have a moment directly from the Odyssey, when Odysseus takes his spear and stabs it in the eye of Poseidon's son Polyphemus, the Cyclops, blinding him forever, and basically causing millions and millions of problems for Odysseus. This guy is called Brimaz in the game. He's supposed to be Leonidas, because you see he's a lion guy, and lion guys in this world are called Leonin, so he's Leonidas. He leads a lot of lion men. This is a beautiful picture of Narcissus. Pretty self-explanatory, except his reflection in this world comes alive. Icarus is the son of the master smith Daedalus, and Icarus took his equipment that could fly, and he flew too high, too close to the sun, and the wax melted off of the contraption, and he fell to his death. Circe famously turned many men into wild animals when they invaded her island, and here we have her turning lots of soldiers into pigs. King Sisyphus here was filled with hubris and often tried to trick the gods, and even trick death, and as punishment, his entire underworld life is spent rolling this giant boulder up the hill only to have it roll back down. There are many stories of heroes trying to go to the underworld to save a lost friend or lover. Usually they are failures, and very rarely they succeed. Here we also get to see Chiron, the boatman who takes you across the river Styx. We have the Fates, deciding the life and death and paths of men and gods alike. And then we have Chiron, the centaur tutor of many, many, many heroes. Chiron was good, great at everything that a hero would need to be good and great at. And eventually he was killed by Hercules, because Hercules is an idiot. These ladies apparently holding up the building are called Chorae. They're all over the Acropolis and neighboring temples, and no one is 100% sure what they're supposed to represent. But in this world, they seem to come alive, and that's pretty cool. We have Orpheus's lyre, that helped him create such beautiful music that even the gods themselves wept, and Persephone and Hades let him take his love out of the underworld. The head of Medusa, Perseus beheaded her with the help of tons of magical items given to him by like all the gods because they all fucking love him. This Trojan horse needs no introduction, but I'm sure all of these people that are near the horse by nightfall will be dead. And then we have Pandora's box, which is actually Pandora's jar, and inside of it are all of the horrible, horrible things that she is about to accidentally unleash onto the world. These guys are cool because they're called Asphodel Wanderers. I can't really pronounce Asphodel, but it is a section of Hades where you get to go if you're not a hero, but you're also not horrible. You're just a normal dude. You get to go to Asphodel Field. This card is called Viper's Kiss, and it represents how Eurydice died. That's Orpheus's betrothed. She was trying to escape a satyr who was going to rape her, and she stepped on a viper and it killed her. It was horrible. This card is called Guild. It's the Midas touch power in the game. You just turn anything you want into a piece of gold, and then you have an artifact instead of a person. This next card isn't actually Greek mythology. It's Roman, but it's about Romulus and Remus, which technically come from Troy, lineagely wise, and it's called Raised by Wolves, and basically you play it and some wolves raise you, and then you get free wolves. These next couple are just cool pictures from the set. You got a water chick that could make a good scion, a pure lady badass hero, and a non-sexual death guy or lady. And then we got a Catoblepas. A lot of people don't know what a Catoblepas looks like. They're a terrible, horrible Greek monster of awfulness, and I think they did a great job of depicting it here. For a while here, we're just going to have some cool Greek mythology monsters and creatures. We got a satyr. Then we got a Medusa. Then we got some sirens. Now these sirens are really good because they're bird-like, which is what they're supposed to be like. A lot of people do sirens now and just make them hot ladies. Got Cyclops, about to step on us and crush us. Next we have Ladon, who is a dragon that guards the Golden Fleece. What's really good here is normally people draw a dragon as a dragon, but Ladon specifically is very serpentine, almost like a Chinese dragon, we imagine. Hercules kills him, and it's awful. Then we have another thing Hercules kills, the Nemean lion. A lot of the best creatures in Greek mythology are just things Hercules slaughtered. This Colossus is probably modeled after Talos, who was the giant bronze man Zeus requested Hephaestus make to help guard Europa. He eventually is murdered by Medea. And then we have an awesome Charybdis, another one of Odysseus' many, many nemesis. And then we have a cool Hydra. Just thought I'd throw in this cool Hydra. The Hecatoncheiri were the children of Uranus and Gaia. They have 100 hands, or 100 arms and 100 hands, obviously. And they were too ugly, so Uranus threw them away. And then the gods let them out, so they fought with the gods during the Titanomachy against Uranus. And then we got a sweet Cerberus. I think he looks pretty badass. Now we get to Prometheus. Our first Prometheus is Prometheus as the Firebringer. His actual powers he gives all the humans in play, basically the ability to throw fireballs. And then the second Prometheus is the more classic chained to the rocks Prometheus. Obviously they look very different because again they're both taking bits of the story. But here he is chained to the rocks. I can only assume he's looking up at some eagle ready to swoop down and devour his innards. And we're come up to the end. Last two cards. First we got Atlas. I don't think this one looks as much like Atlas. I wish I had some more detail in a bigger version. Kind of is underworld related too, so I'm not sure what's going on, but definitely doing an Atlas pose. And finally is Typhon, the dragon that fights the Olympians and finally is defeated by Zeus. He puts a fucking mountain on top of him. I don't know why Typhon here has lightning, but he does and still looks pretty cool. And that is a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed this weird little thing we decided to do. It was a lot more work than I thought it would be, and so I'm sorry that it is later than we wanted it to be. If you have any questions about the game or about any mythological topics related to the game, feel free to ask us, and we will talk to you guys soon.